To the Rosicrucians, alchemists, and Illuminati, the cross is a symbol of light because each of the three letters, LVX, derive from some part of the cross. There are different forms of the cross. The first is called the tau, more correctly the tab. It is closely resembled the modern letter T, consisting of a horizontal bar resting on a vertical column, the two arms being equal length. An oak tree cut off some feet above the ground, its upper part laid across the lower. This form was a symbol of the Druid god Hu. Okay, so even the Druids, they put a form of a cross on an oak tree. They call it the god Hu. It would come, the dying god on the cross of the tree. It is suspected that the symbol originated among the Egyptians from the spread of the horns of the bull, the ram, or Taurus, or Aries. And the vertical line of its face is sometimes designated as the hammer cross, because held by a vertical base and is unlike the mallet or gavel, used in one of the Kabbalistic Masonic legends of cherub given a hammer in the form of a tau by his ancestor Tubal-Cain. The tau cross preserved modern masonry under the symbol of the T-square. It appears to be the oldest form of the cross extant. The crucignostia. The cross is surmounted by a circle, often foreshortened, a upright oval. I was talking about that, with the oval loop, the ankh. The crucignostia, the cross of life, is the key to the mysteries of antiquity. It probably gave rise to the modern story of Peter's golden key to heaven. In the mysteries of Egypt, the candidate passed through the forms of actual imaginary dangers. So they sent him through these imaginary dangers, holding above his head the cross Ansata, before whom the power of darkness fell back abashed. The student is reminded of the words in hoc signa Venus, the tau form of the cross is not unlike the seal of Venus. As Richard Paynight has noted, he states, the cross in this form is sometimes verbal on coins. Some of them were found in the Temple of Serapis, demolished in general, destruction of Emperor Theodosius. So this kind of thing, they used it to measure the Nile when the river would come, across to see if it rise high enough. There's a bunch of different things like this in heathen lore and traditions around the world. You can picture Easter Island of showing a crux ansata, picture showing the screen. The crux ansata, this is a diagram here, migrated to many parts of the earth, and is proved by the fact that it was sculptured upon the back, at least one of the most mysterious stone figures found at Easter Island in the South Pacific. The statue in question, one of the smallest in groups, was brought to London by a sailing ship, now in the British Museum, crux ansata. So the symbol of the cross is all around the world. We talked about this in some of the crucified saviors. It's a very big topic, and there's too much to do. Do your own research on this. And there's a couple of things. Okay, to the Christian, the cross has twofold significance. First, a symbol of the death of his Redeemer. We believe in the historical Jesus, through whose martyrdom he feels and partakes of the glory of God. Amen. Secondly, a symbol of humility and patience and the burden of life. We've got to take up our cross, follow Jesus. Amen to that. Is it interesting that the cross should be both a symbol of life and a symbol of death? That's interesting, isn't it? It's got two faces, the cross, symbol of life and death. Many nations deeply consider the astronomical aspect of religion, and probably the Persians, Greeks, and Hindus looked upon the cross as a symbol of the equinoxes and the solstices, and we believe that at certain seasons of the year, the sun was symbolically crucified upon these imaginary celestial angles. That's an interesting thing. The four basic elements, according to both ancient philosophy and modern science, ancients represented the four arms of the cross, placed in each end of the arms of a mysterious Kabbalistic creature. That's the cherubim, by the way, in the Bible. I'll read. Symbolize the power of one of these elements. They symbolize the element, the earth by the bull, water by a scorpion, a serpent, and an eagle, fire by a lion, ear by the human head surrounded by wings. Significant, the four letters inscribed upon the parchment, some say wood fastened on top. The cross at the time of the crucifixion, through the first letters of the four Hebrew words, stand for the four elements. Very elemental, interesting. And Aman, the sea or the water, Noah, fire, or Nak, air, and Ibis, it could be coincidental, Ibis, Shkaha, the dry earth. So we see this idea of the cross. And I'll show about the cherubim there real quick. Then I'm going to get on to something else here. It's reading the book of Ezekiel. Talk about the cherubim. Okay, here's in chapter 10, verse 14. Everyone had four faces. The first face is the face of a cherub. The second face was the face of man. Third, the face of a lion. And the fourth, the face of an eagle. And the cherubims were lifted up, and the living creatures saw by the river Chebar. So even the cherubims were all those different animal figures, which meant the zodiac signs on the four corners of the zodiac. The constellations, Leo, the lion. I mentioned Aquarius, the man. Scorpio would be the eagle, because it's one of the deacon signs, Aquila with scorpion. And symbol of the tribes of Israel as well, the zodiac signs. And what was it? The bull, Taurus, the unicorn.